Hello, everybody. This is Maddie from Mud Clay Studios. I am here from my home office, working and creating a template for you. This project is based on the Christmas tree, so this is my sample, which I wanted to show you. So it can be a bit Seuss-like. I always like things that are a little askew. I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas tree, and then some steps that you guys can use later on for your projects. All right, so we're going to move this guy out of the way. All right, so first things first, this is the template that I'm using. You guys can see. It's like 2 pizza slices together. I just cut this out of a cardboard piece of paper. This is my seltzer crate that it's my favorite. So I'm laying this onto a slab or a flat piece of clay, and you can also use a knife to cut it out. So now we're going to cut out the template all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. All right, and then take this extra clay out of the way. You guys can use this stuff as well, these like extra pieces. When you roll out your slab, you can use a rolling pin, which I'll do right here. You can use a seltzer bottle, but if you also have an old wine bottle, you can use it as well. All right, so now I'm going to take off this piece. So now I have a piece of clay that's like 2 pizza slices. And 2 pizza slices. All right. The first step after this is slipping and scoring. Again, I want you guys to see the screen, not my beautiful curtains. I'm going to use a fork to scratch, or something called slipping and scoring. Also, another thing that you guys can use is old plastic bags to stuff it, which I'll show you guys that technique in a second. All right, so we're going to just scratch, 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 scratch. All right, and then you guys have your jars of slip. I have a big jar of slip right here, so I'm going to use this. All right. And then I'm going to show you guys. We're going to take this piece, and we're going to slip and score these 2 together. All right. And kind of pinch them. So the slip, again, scratch marks are very important, but slip is also important. So you want to make sure you do scratch both pieces and then slip it together. The plastic is really good for stuffing it on the inside, especially if you have really, 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 really soft clay. All right, we're going to press these together. Now, the other thing I have up here is my old DSW card. All right, rewards card, which is really good for smoothing out your clay. You can also do this with a piece of cardboard or a piece of metal, just things that you guys have in your house. Again, I'm joining these 2 pieces together, and then I'm going to turn this guy up atop. So now we have our beautiful evergreen Christmas tree. Now, this is one of my favorite projects because of these. And the scissors are going to be really helping us make these really, really, really awesome pieces. The other thing is if you don't like any texture that you get, so I have the texture from my yellow polka dot tablecloth. I'm going to smooth out all of that texture. You can kind of see. All right. So we have a nice cone shape. All right. So the scissors are super awesome for this project. So you're going to take your scissors. Again, clay wash set anything if you get clay on your projects. Have no fear, it washes right out. All right. So now, if you guys can see, I'm taking my clay. I'm going to do this backwards. And I'm going to snip the clay and then pull it. So then I get a nice point. All right. And then you're just going to snip and point. Snip and point. and you have this beautiful evergreen Christmas tree. And as you go, you want to go between the two blades and continue the pattern. And again, if it's kind of squishing a little bit, it's okay. A couple things to remind you guys as I'm doing this. None of this clay can go in the oven at home. You have to return it back to Mud Clay Studio so we can fire it. And then you also have to select the color that you want it to be. Oh my god, this is so much fun. So much fun making a Christmas tree. And sometimes trees don't always grow straight up, right? Sometimes they grow to the side. Also, as we're building this, think about the decorations that you want to put on it. Do you want to make it so it has ornaments? Do you want to make it so it has a string of lights? Do you want to make it so it has a star on the top? It's entirely up to you how you want to do this. Also, the other thing that you'll notice is, see how I'm getting those cuts in between? And what you can do is take a fork and just slip and square those back together. All right, after it gets fired and dries, those will kind of join back together. The other thing is, if you want to make these into a luminary, where you would put a candle on the inside, those cuts work really well because then the light can come out from the side depending on where you put your pieces. All right. Alrighty. So now we have our Christmas tree. Alright. So it's still my clay is really, really soft. So it's gonna bend very easily based on what I wanted to do. So let's say you wanted to kind of pop out those extra layers. You can do that. If you wanted to add any decoration to this, think about what you would want to make. Do you want to make a string of lights? So now I have my coil. I'm going to squish it, squish it, squish it. I'm going to do this on the other side so you guys can see. Okay, coil. This is going to be my string of lights going. And if it's too long, just break it in half. And you can string this around. But the other thing too to keep in mind, if you want anything to stay attached, you have to slip and score. So you can slip and score with a fork, you can slip and score with a knife, you can slip and score with a traditional pin tool. Okay, so there's lots of different things that you can do to slip and score. But very importantly, it's slipping out of my hand. I'm scratching a line around the side, and this is where my coil is going to go. My Christmas lights. All right. All right, and you can keep adding those pieces. Maybe you want to add maybe a tiny little ornament hanging out right here. All right, so then you would slip and score that spot and this spot, and then add some slip. Okay, must slip, and then press it in. The other thing is maybe you want to make a star on the top of your project. Use some of your extra clay. We have a star. It's a bit of a Patrick. All right, so now we have our star. So I would slip and score this onto the front, but then I can also do the same thing on the back, so then it looks like it's on the point rather than on the front of something. All right, so that is all for me today. I would like you guys to start playing with your clay and making beautiful Christmas trees. Think about your creativity. Think about what you're going to do. Think about your tracers that are really helpful. And again, if you guys have any questions, please email us at info@mugclaystudios.com. And we are so excited to see your pieces. Also, think about how you want them to be glazed, because again, we will be dipping these for you. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon in the studio.